In this video, I'll be demonstrating star stitches. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm happy to have you here. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. So star stitches are a type of stitch that is commonly seen in lace knitting, but it can be seen in other overall stitch patterns as well. It's often used in Estonian lace knitting. And it's a stitch that creates a star shape. Here's a stitch sampler of mine that I use when I teach lace knitting that has a star stitch right here. So it's this kind of stitch that makes a little star pattern. These are some star stitches as well, some smaller ones right here. And so they create kind of a cable looking appearance depending on how and where they are used. Or in this instance, this is a flower motif that begins with the star stitch and then uses decreases and yarn overs to create this kind of flower bud. Let me show you how to work these. Star stitches are made by creating a series of stitches out of a series of stitches. So you are using knitting together multiple stitches and then creating multiple stitches out of those. So I'll show you what I mean. So and usually these are odd numbers into odd numbers. So you'll need two different numbers for your star stitch, and they're commonly phrased as a 3 into 3, or a 3 into 5, or a 5 into 7, and so on. And it's odd numbers. So if I was going to make a 3 into 3, you knit 3 together, but don't remove them from your left hand needle. You make your knit 3 together, but you leave them on the left hand needle. And then you bring the working yarn forward and yarn over the right hand needle. And then you need to knit those 3 stitches together once more. And then you can drop them off the left hand needle, and this creates your 3 stitches out of those 3 stitches. And then on the following row, you simply work them one by one. And you want to make sure they're in the right order. They can tend to bunch up on the right hand needle and get out of order. So when you come back around to them, you want to make sure you're working them individually in the order that they should be presented. But let me show you that again. Let's say I want to make a 3 into 5. So again, I would knit 3 together, but leave them on the left hand needle, and then yarn over the right hand needle and knit those 3 together again. This has so far created 3 stitches on my right hand needle, but I need to make 5. So I need to yarn over one more time. And the reason they're odd is so that then you have an anchoring knit stitch at the beginning and the end of those stitches. Now I can drop them off the left hand needle, and I have 5 stitches now coming out of those 3. When we come back around then, like I said, they get worked individually unless there is some other treatment of these stitches happening in your particular pattern. But usually they are all worked individually, and I like to make sure they're in order. And so they should be with a stitch coming from the back and a stitch coming from the front. So it should alternate with a stitch that looks to be from the back, and then a stitch from the front, and then a stitch from the back, and then a stitch from the front, and then a stitch from the back. And that's how I make sure they're in their nice order. Let's get to this 3 into 3 that I made. And here's the one in the back. And see how these two are kind of wrapped together. So I need to make sure they're separated and that the one in the front is first. and I end with a 1 in the back. And then finish your row. So this is what they look like on the right side then, after a wrong side row's been worked. There's the 3 into 3, and there's your 3 into 5. So with these types of star stitches, you can have a stitch count change in your overall fabric, because I've taken 3 stitches and created 5. So I have a stitch count increase of 2 overall here. They can be used to make quite interesting fabrics, and they're commonly seen in lace knitting. So those are star stitches. Have you used these stitches before in your knitting? Let me know in the comments below. I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.